Live from the Student Union on campus, this is Gold Mine Live. Your weekly all-access pass inside Charlotte Athletics is brought to you by Ortho Carolina, proud to present the 2017 Charlotte 49ers football season. Bojangles, it's bow time. Your Carolina Ford dealers. Go to yourfordchoice.com and enter the Adventure Ready giveaway to win a 2017 Escape or Fusion from your Carolina Ford dealers. Harris Teeter, where 49ers fans shop for groceries. University Eye Associates. And by Wells Fargo. Charlotte 49er fans, show your pride with a customized Wells Fargo debit card. Stop by your nearest Wells Fargo or visit Wells Fargo Card Design Studio online to learn more. Now, here's your host, the voice of the 49ers, Matt Swerad.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Gold Mine Live here at the Student Union on campus as we go into the final week of the football regular season. Coming up on Saturday, the Owls of FAU come to Jerry Richardson Stadium for a 2 o'clock kickoff. A team that will be playing the next week for the Conference USA Championship. They won their side of Conference USA. They'll take on the Mean Green of North Texas on December the 2nd for the Conference Championship. So a good team coming here to town to play the 49ers on Saturday. Alongside Kevin Donnelly, Coach Brad Lambert, I'm Matt Swerad. Thanks for joining us here today. It's also the final home game, so it is Senior Day coming up, Coach, against FAU. Always a special day with the seniors playing for the last time at Jerry Richardson Stadium.
Yeah, it always is. Senior days are always tough because, guys realize that, hey, they're finished here. They're finished playing at Charlotte. We talked to them last week. They took their last road trip, down to Southern Miss. And those are always when you always think back to your time when you played and, when it came to an end for you as a player at a school. And so those are always emotional days. So you try to get the guys out there with their families and then, get to the game as quick as you can so they can get their mind right back on the game and play in the game. And so it's always a fun day.
Last week on our pregame show, we had Eugene Sherman, who was making his last road trip as a senior. He talked about that, enjoyed that last night in the hotel, messing around with some of the younger guys. And today on the show here, we talked to Chris Montgomery, local senior, playing in his last home game. And, boy, had a great game returning kicks against Southern Miss on Saturday.
He really did. He's done that all really the last couple of years for us. Really has a knack for it. He's really good at it. He can see things and hit it quickly. He's got good speed, so has a real knack for it. And Saturday had a big one for us down at Southern Miss. He's been good as a local guy, Cleveland County out here, and it's been good for our program. Came, I think, in 13 and has been with us the whole time. So we really appreciate him and all he's done for us.
Going to be a little different this year, too, because we have Thanksgiving on Thursday, and it's the first time we'll have a football game at home after Thanksgiving, not traveling. So what's the week going to be like for you and the staff and the team?
It goes a little quick. You end up getting everything finished, by noon on Thursday and let the kids get out of here and then go home. Local guys can go home or take somebody from out of town with them. We'll have a lunch for them at the stadium, and then they'll be, cut free to do that. But this is the first time we've been at home on Thanksgiving. So, all the fans out there, eat your little turkey on Thursday, leftovers on Friday, come watch a little ball on Saturday. So encourage everybody to come out and watch the game.
Yeah, no doubt. It's Thanksgiving, and there's still work that has to be put in this week. But you always seem to do a good thing with, I know you feed the team, but then guys that aren't local, that may not have a place to go, you always make sure that they're with teammates, a position coach, and if it has to be, you just invite them to your home.
Yeah, no question. You want guys to feel like they got a place to go, and some guys, they might be from California or wherever, they just can't travel, back and forth. And we've got enough local guys, guys like Chris, they'll go somewhere, spend Thanksgiving with somebody's family. And that's always important to us, that we feel like we are a family, and we want to be together with each other. And if they come to my house, they got to play in the Turkey Bowl every year. We have the Turkey Bowl every Thursday late afternoon, which I've only lost once. So the boys tell me I lost the last 3 years, but I don't think they're remembering it correctly.
It's kind of like Kevin with the old bow time challenge, right? He doesn't remember them all.
That's right.
Well, and Thanksgiving week, it's something also that, for everyone that's out there, usually get maybe Wednesday off and for sure Thursday and Friday, and they get to really just relax and enjoy family and have all these different things going on. But it is normal business as usual for you guys where, you'll have heavy practice Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah. Thursday you'll have your regular practice. You'll just bump it up a little bit so they can cut out a little earlier. And then Friday you're still going to be at work fine-tuning all those little things for the game on Saturday. So
This group really does just have to focus in on the work this week and get it done because despite the holiday, there is a big game Saturday.
Yeah, no question. And it's always my favorite. I love this week. Throughout my years in coaching, we've played a lot on Thanksgiving that weekend. Used to be when you and I played, there were only a select few teams that played on Friday and Saturday of Thanksgiving week. For me, it was always Nebraska and Colorado played every Friday of Thanksgiving, when I was growing up. And so now everybody plays, but there's not a better week in the college football season than Thanksgiving week. There's just something about Thanksgiving and football that, whether it's the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday or whatever it is, but football and Thanksgiving just go hand in hand. So this is one of my best weeks. I love this week, getting ready for a game, and, kids can kind of get away from school after Tuesday and focus on ball, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and play on Saturday. So I love this week for football.
Well, it's memorable for me because when I was playing in the National Football League, the first start I ever got, someone had gotten hurt. It happened to be a Thanksgiving Day game. Had to go to Detroit, a Barry Sanders team up there. And, and fortunately, we won that game. But talk about nervous. Everyone else, I'm thinking to myself before the game, everyone celebrating Thanksgiving is so chill, filling their bellies, enjoying football, and here I am about to puke because it's my first start ever in the NFL. The whole world's watching because there's not a lot of football on.
No, it's the best.
And golly,
you got to watch Detroit and Dallas, right? You always got to watch those two.
Now I watch and I'm saying, thank God it's them and not me. But it was fun, and you're right. Football and Thanksgiving just go hand in hand.
They do. They really do. So this is a fun week for me personally, and hopefully our guys will, really be focused and get the work done because we've got a really good football team coming in here. It's a huge opportunity for our football team to have an opportunity to go beat the team that won our division. So there's a lot out there, and that's what our challenge to our team this week will be, is this opportunity to beat the team that won our division. If we could put that feather in our cap, that'd be pretty big.
Mm-hmm. It would be. And one more thing on the last week, as you're going to play in a game like this, is unlike pro sports where the game is over and the season's over, a couple hours later people scatter. It's a little different in college. You got to come back and you get back to work next week, getting ready for next year. But you guys are such creatures of habit. You've been doing the same thing, same routine since August.
Yep.
It does change after this week, and this is the last chance you get to prepare for a football game.
Yeah, no question. And this is the last game together with your 17 team, because, starting next week, you'll go to work on your 18 team. The calendar turns over, and we'll hit the road recruiting next week, and you'll be sitting in living rooms and talking to kids about coming to Charlotte, and you're on to the next one. And so it is, it's our last opportunity together with this group of seniors and this team in particular, the 2017 team. So we want it to go out the right way.
You mentioned FAU, our opponent this week. Here's a team that going into the game on Saturday, they beat FIU in that Shula Bowl battle down there in Miami, averaging over 40 points a game. They scored over 50 this last week. So it is a high-powered offense, good quarterback, great running back in Singletary.
Yeah, a lot of the same guys we played against last year. Singletary played last year, Driscoll played last year. Got some seniors in that offensive line. A lot of guys we played against last year. They're playing at a high level, and Singletary, being the guy. I think he's leading FBS in touchdowns right now. He's rushed for a little over 1,500 yards, something like that. He's playing at a high level. We saw Edo Smith last Saturday, a guy that's a 4,000, 1,000 guy in FBS football. There's only 10 of those guys out there, and now you're playing this guy, Singletary, this week, who's playing at, he's leading our league in rushing, touchdowns, all those things, and they play really fast, and Coach Kiffin's got them, playing at a high level right now. So they've been on a roll, since they got in conference play, winning 7 in a row, and they didn't start off as fast, played Navy, played Wisconsin, played a Buffalo team. So they didn't start off as fast, but they've really been on a good rhythm. And I think they've pretty much stayed injury-free. Yeah, that's the other piece that happens to you. If you can stay injury-free when you're making those runs, it's really critical.
Injury-free has not been the case for us on the defensive side this last week. Of course, you're out without Ben DeLuca. Also, Zach Duncan was out in that game, didn't make the trip. Hopefully get some guys healthier this week, maybe going into this one.
Yeah, we'll see. They're all still kind of day to day. When you deal with head injuries, you're never really for sure. I think Ben's going to be back, but I thought he might be back last week. But those guys, when you're dealing with a head injury, it's just a different animal, and you've got to make sure the kids that they feel comfortable that they're not having symptoms and things like that, because The issue with head injuries is always the next one. You know, if you go out there and do it again right away, that's when you feel like you're causing some problems. So you always got to be pretty cautious with the guys, and so it's really, you know, how are they progressing, and then when you put them into activity, how do they react? How is their brain reacting? You know, once you put them into activity, so that can change things. You start getting out there and running around, and all of a sudden you're having headaches again, or dizziness, whatever the symptoms might be. So you got to make sure the guys are okay. Hopefully we'll get some of those guys back this week. We didn't play Quay Gibbs last week. His foot's still bothering him a little bit. He's getting a little bit better each week. I'm hopeful we'll have him back, because the impact's not just on defense. It's an impact on defense, but for Chris and guys in the special, it's a huge impact from a special team standpoint. I mean, those guys usually fielding your special teams, and you know, guys trying to return a kickoff, and there's new guys blocking for him each week, and it's, you know, they hadn't been doing it, so it's, you know, it can be a problem. And then Saturday when we got down to Southern Miss, you know, A.J. McDonald's been playing safety for us since he's been here. Well, he gets hurt on the first or second drive of the game. All of a sudden we had to play Marquivas Davis at safety, who's a senior, used to play safety, but hadn't played safety all year. You know, so he's forced into playing 50-some snaps that he hadn't played 50 snaps in a game all year, and it's at a position he hadn't been practicing at. So we started practicing last week in case something were to happen at safety, whether that's Ed or AJ. Well, sure enough, we got in the game, and AJ went down with an ankle sprain and just couldn't go. He tried to go on some special teams, but you know, he had a pretty significant ankle injury. So hopefully we'll have him back this week for special teams. We'll get you know, Quay Gibbs back, help us on special teams, because it really can impact the game from that standpoint.
We'll take a timeout right now to show a lot more to come. Still here for the full hour. And talking to Coach Brad Lambert coming up a little later on. It's going to be Chris Montgomery joining us on the show this week as well. This is 49ers Gold Mine Live on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in.
No thanks, Santa.
I got this.
Hey, it looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0 for 72 plus $1,500 cash back on F-150. Plus active military, veterans, and retirees get $1,000 appreciation cash on top of all offers at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Hotel. Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Welcome back to Gold Mine Live. The Charlotte 49ers this week playing FAU here on campus, the final game of the regular season. Last week down at Southern Miss, and mentioned Edo Smith last segment, running back for the Golden Eagles. You said going in, Coach, you thought maybe he was the best overall running back in Conference USA, and he was impressive on Saturday.
Yeah, he's a good player. He, you know, I got a real close friend on that staff, and he talked about what a good person he is as well. And I talked to him after the game and just told him I had a lot of respect for him. Enjoyed watching him on video. He's a heck of a player. He can do everything: run the ball, catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a very versatile player for them, and sounds like a really, really good person as well. So he got out on us on that 80-yard run. We didn't maintain our gap control. Had a guy get out of our gap, and you know, a guy like that can, you know, take it the distance. And Singletary's the same way. Motor's going to be the same way. If you get out of your gap, you know, and he gets loose, he's a pretty physical back too. So really two really good backs back to back that we're going to play here.
Well, I think, you know, you look at that, you know, they're experienced running backs. I think the one this week's a junior. Edo Smith was a senior.
That's right.
And you know, you contained him pretty well in that first half. I thought, like, you got into halftime and he hadn't broke any long ones off there. But man, those older running backs can make you pay quickly if you're not in the right place.
Yeah, no question. You got to maintain gap control, and it'll be real critical this week. These guys play fast, and they do a lot of motions and things like that, similar to Southern Miss, and they try to get you out of position, and then bang, they got a really good player that can take it the distance. I thought Southern Miss too. Their wide out number 18's, you know, he's everything as advertised. You know, Robert did a pretty good job on him all day. He got loose on us once, but they tried to hit him a bunch. So, you throw in some combinations of these guys have some good skill players as well. And their quarterback, Driscoll's playing good for him. He's really, being highly efficient with the ball. And so it's we're going to have a lot of discipline this week defensively and make sure we're in our gaps and in the right spots, when we play defense.
I was going to ask you about Driscoll because you look at his numbers, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, don't light up the page. Great running game. But you talk about his efficiency, and he's done a nice job. Yeah,
he's really efficient. And they're a run-first team. I mean, they're way up there in the nation in rushing offense, and he runs the ball. Like, he's a really good runner. He really hurt ODU with the quarterback run plays. He hurt FIU critical run situations in a game, and he'll run the ball and has the ability to run it. So he's playing well for them right now, and really doing a good job of getting the ball where it's supposed to be and making good decisions and all those things. So he's playing well for them.
Such a young program. It's just a third year at the FBS level playing in Conference USA. But I think this championship game coming up next week is a great indicator of how quickly things can, as guys get older, turn around. You got FAU playing North Texas 2 years ago. North Texas couldn't get out of their own way, couldn't win a football game. Now they're going to play for a championship. They just beat Army, a very good Army team, in a shootout a couple days ago. Yeah, they're playing well on the offensive side of the ball, too. We've had them in crossover, a number of times this week, being one they've already played FAU. So we had them, last week. We had them against ODU. We've had their crossover tape quite a bit, UAB. So we've seen North Texas a lot, and they're playing well on the offensive side. They've got a really good quarterback, and their running backs way up there in rushing yards. So, it's a good league, and you can turn it around fast. And we're continuing to build. That's what we challenge our team with. A win this Saturday will go a long way in building our program as we keep moving forward. And trying to establish this thing, because it does take time. It is a process, and you gotta just keep building and keep hoeing, and something good's gonna happen for us.
And how hard is that message to get to these guys, because they're young, they're 18, 19 years old, and we're both of that age, and you're just impatient. I mean, you want this thing right now, and it's hard for them sometimes to see the 2 or 3 year plan and how this thing's going to build and how it will. All this hard work's going to all of a sudden look like, wow, what a quick turnaround, but it was really a 5 or 6 year process.
Yeah, no question. And, when you're in a startup situation, like, everybody knows what they signed up for, and our guys, I think that the number one thing about our guys is they're, like, you're getting ready to experience crew. You guys get to experience one, kind of every week when you do these shows, and we just got a bunch of good guys, and they show up for work every day, and I expect no different this week. We made some mistakes down there. We were a little shorthanded at Southern Miss, but at no time they were all playing hard. And that's a testament to what kind of guys we have, and that they're going to show up and work and prepare hard and give our team a chance to win the game.
Mentioned some of the defensive injuries, but on the offensive side, we've seen Tseng get banged up a little bit recent weeks. He went out again early, not missing any plays, but he got hit hard a couple of times. His ankle was bothering him. Yeah, and the one, when he threw the pick six, the guy hit his leg. It looks like on video he broke his leg. I don't know how he got up from that one. That one was really, and it was like the guy wasn't trying to be, he got tangled up with our offensive lineman. Everybody went down, and he kind of shot through, and Hassan was throwing the ball, and he hit him right when he was throwing it, and the ball flops up in the air, So he's a tough guy. He's a really tough guy, and I kind of admire him, because he's been beat up. His turf burns. He slid that one time, Coach. His whole right leg was bleeding. He scraped all the skin off of his leg. He's a tough guy, and he just keeps bouncing back, and he works really hard at it. He's in the training room all the time. I mean, he's a guy that wants to be out there. He wants to play with his teammates, for his teammates, and he's going to do everything he can physically to be ready to play, and that's what I always admire about him. He's a hard-working guy.
Yeah, and he made the mistake of sliding on the paint. Most of the field is usually good to slide on, but when you slide near that logo, I remember right at midfield, he slides on that thing, and you paint that thing with the logo, and that stuff can grab your skin real quick. It's not good to be a part of. But I watched the game film again, and I'm looking at it, and I thought overall, he played pretty well at times, and I think that, probably maybe that, you don't want to assign blame to one thing or another, because it's all these guys working together. But I thought the O-line didn't really help as much in the run game. I thought there were some opportunities there that, maybe they got a wrong assignment or couldn't get to a linebacker or something that man, there was room to run if they could have just gotten one guy. But, you know, it's a testament. You have to give credit to Southern Miss. They ran some nice things with all their movement and everything up front.
They do, and you know, Southern Miss, Middle Tennessee, you know, they're high-risk defenses. We couldn't pop them. You know, we tried to hit the post 3 or 4 times in the game. We hit the nice corner route to TL the one time, but we couldn't get the run game to pop. You know, we couldn't get it. We couldn't get to split them, you know, and that was the frustrating thing, and we just couldn't. Most games we have the ability to get the running back started, and we didn't, you know, Saturday night, and that was a little bit frustrating, and that's kind of the defense they play, and they had senior day down there last Saturday, and there was 27 of them. So, you know, I mean, this is a good time for them, you know, when an old football team, and their quarterback actually is playing pretty good. I thought he played pretty good in our game. So, you know, we need to play better offensively, obviously, and score more points and try to eliminate big plays on the defensive side. But you know, you're playing against teams that are going to bowl games, and you got to be on point. You can't make mistakes and not be in the right gap, or you know, not catch the ball when you have an opportunity to catch the ball, or miss a run read when you miss it, or like you say in the offensive line, it happens fast up there. So guys get to moving. I always tell everybody it'd be easy to play offensive line if everybody's standing there like empty beer cans. You know, I mean, those guys get to moving around. It changes the game. So and they moved a lot on us. So you know, we got to play better up front.
And I'll add this, you know, you speak of the offensive line, and it seems like it'd be easier. Michael Irvin's kind of step, I don't know if you saw that, but he had a quote yesterday that all these guys do is just take a pass set and then just kind of get in somebody's way. He's 300 pounds, they're 300 pounds, you're just kind of standing there. No. And he's taking a lot of heat on Twitter because he has no idea what that position is like. And you're absolutely right. When those guys are moving around, it's easy if they're just standing there.
Yeah.
But, man, that was a defense that, like you said, took risks, moved some guys here and there. And, you know, when I'm watching the film, it really is, you know, these guys are gaining experience, and most of them will be back next year. It's going to be invaluable as they go forward. That, you know, unfortunately it didn't work this year, but, man, that's tape they can look at and say, this is where I can get better, and they will be better next year.
Yeah, no question. You know, Kivas was the one senior out there playing on defense. Everybody's back. Offensive line, all those guys are back. We'll lose Eugene. He's the one guy we do lose in the O-line. He's really played well for us this year. Been proud of Eugene. He's really, you know, done a nice job, you know, in that O-line. But you're exactly right, man. It happens fast up there.
Some of the biggest, fastest big men on the planet, really. You think about other sports, you got a guy that size, they're probably not moving around very much, but these guys, pretty good footwork. Yeah, and then you watch film, you watch video. You know, not long ago I was watching Carolina Panthers video, you know, and the offensive line that the Panthers have is pretty good, you know, because the guys they're trying to block and they're twisting, and those guys were picking up twists, and so you got to have a good offensive line, no question, to be successful. That's kind of where it all starts, your O-line, your D-line, and how impactful are they on the game, whether that's offense running the ball, protecting the pass, or, you know, things like that. You know, Hassan, his percentages went up the last couple of weeks to try to limit what he does and some of his reads, and trying to help him as much as we can, because everybody's taking his run game away. They're just like, yeah, we're not going to let him run. So we gotta you know, get some answers with throwing the ball, and he's done a little bit better than that. You know, like I say, he threw those 2 pick sixes Saturday, but they're really not really on him. You know, like I say, that DB made a really good play and hit mark and just happened to pop the ball up. The ball pops down, it's an incomplete pass. You know, sometimes that's the way the ball bounces. And then the other one, you know, the guys, you know, like I said, I thought he broke his leg when he hit him in that throwing motion. If you can get a guy in your lower extremities when he's throwing the ball, it's, you know, you pop the ball up and the guy happened to be there. Take a break on the show right now. When we come back, I'll have the Ortho Carolina Student Athlete Spotlight. Roll from that right into our special guest here today, who is wide receiver kickoff return man senior Chris Montgomery. Will be joining us coming up right after this timeout. This is Gold Mine Live on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in.
No thanks, Santa.
I got this.
Hey, it looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0 for 72 plus $1,500 cash back on F-150. Plus active military, veterans, and retirees get $1,000 appreciation cash on top of all offers at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No. Birthday tomorrow.
Guitar. Reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party. Relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
The Student Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Ortho Carolina, the official team physician of your Charlotte 49ers. This week's Ortho Carolina Student Athlete of the Week is Caroline Tseng. Tseng is a redshirt junior on the cross-country team from Eldoret Town, Kenya. She's had an outstanding year so far, taking home the individual titles at both the Conference USA Championship and the Southeast Regional, setting new school records at each event. Her first place finish in the conference meet helped the 49ers secure the women's team conference championship as well. Away from running, she is a finance major and plans to attend graduate school in the spring. Caroline Tseng, the Ortho Carolina Student Athlete of the Week. This has been the Ortho Carolina Student Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Ortho Carolina, the official team physician of your Charlotte 49ers.
Welcome back to Gold Mine Live, everybody, here at the Student Union. And I'm going to take a little break from talking to Head Coach Brad Lambert, bring in senior wide receiver, kickoff return specialist Chris Montgomery. Chris, hope you're doing well this morning.
Yes, sir. First, I want to give all honor to God for even having this opportunity, and thank you for letting me be on the show. Thank you guys for letting me be on the show today.
Our pleasure, and this is your last home game coming up, senior.
Yes, sir.
Grew up down the road, Waco, North Carolina, which is just outside of Shelby, right?
Yes, sir.
And you told me last time we talked that it was always your dream to go to UNC Charlotte, and that was before there was football in the picture. Once there was football, you knew there was no place else for you.
Yes, sir. I have been blessed to be able to come to the school as my dream school. I mean, I've been touring this school since probably 6th, 7th grade, and I've had family that's been alumni at this school, and it's, like I said, it's just an honor to be able to be a 49er on the football team.
Will that make senior day more special for you and maybe a little more emotional for you this coming Saturday?
It's going to be a little bit overwhelming. I mean, just being able to walk out of the tunnel with my family and let my mom have the experience of actually being on the football field, and let my father actually have the experience of being on the Division I football field, you know, because he, as a parent, he kind of lives his life through me now, and it's just going to be great to see my whole family at the game, and, you know, being that I am just outside of Charlotte, I'm going to have a lot of family at the game, and just to see how proud they're going to be is going to be just a blessing, just a lovely sight to see.
I know they're awfully proud of you, and over 2,100 yards returning kicks for you in your career, and #1 right now in Conference USA. Had a great week at Southern Miss. What was that like? You almost broke one. You had 165 yards, I think.
Yes, sir.
You almost broke it. That was a nice run.
Well, my whole thing on the kickoff return thing is to try to get as far as I can because of the kickoff return unit. Because the kickoff return unit is a hard unit to play on. It's a hard unit to work on, but them guys, they come to work every week, you know, and that's kind of, I try to tell them that whatever return we get is their return, it's their reward, because we can have anybody on the football team that can run, just put him back there and he can run, but you can't get nowhere without blocking. And I think that unit, I thank Coach Skolaski for putting us in the right positions to be able to be as successful as we've been.
Yeah, and I think that unit is, you know, I played a lot of years of football and was actually on a kickoff return unit and had to block, and definitely one of the hardest things you have in football, because those guys are screaming down the field. Those guys are trying to get blocks, not hold guys, trying to get good positioning on them to give you that opportunity. And, you know, I guess with that, it's, you know, what are you looking for when you're coming off that goal line? I know you have a certain return called, but man, when the bullets are flying and guys are flying down there 100 miles an hour, I mean, what's going through your head as you catch that ball and you're trying to make a play?
Run. That's really the main thing that's going through my mind, because you see, we have guys like William Graham, who's a walk-on. You have guys like Aaron McAllister, who's back there with me. Also, guys on the front line such as Uriah LeMay or Trent Bostic. These are guys that I trust. That, you know, we have a bond, and it's like, okay, I don't have to think about nothing but run, because I know that they're going to get their jobs done.
Well, as a senior, you know, you've kind of been through that and you've seen that progress, and you're having a really great year returning that. I think, you know, some of that also is due to the fact that, you know, Coach Skolaski's done a nice job of getting some game plans together and making opportunities for you. What has he meant for the special teams? And I think all of the units have really improved this year. What's his style like? How does he communicate with y'all? I know he's not like your typical coach, but man, he knows what he's doing.
Well, Coach Skolaski is a whole different brain. A lot of guys he's one of those guys that'll make a joke and nobody even understands it because it's so educational. But like I said, he has a great brain, and it brings a whole different aspect to the special teams because it's not just, he makes it not just a special teams. This is a play. He makes sure you knows, okay, these are one play drives. And you have to take advantage of every single one of them. And being invited to his home for dinner, Coach Skolaski is a great guy to talk to and learn from. So being that he has been taking over our special teams units is just he's done a wonderful job with it.
Well, returning kicks is one of the toughest things to do in football. Of course, it's so fast that you get hit. You talk about your high school coach at Burns High School and how important he was to you, and he also taught you what it was like, how to get hit, because you weren't used to that. What was that like, and how did you get taught to get hit?
Well, it was kind of like I was taught from my coach, my dad, my mom, because, well, my parents would always tell me, when I played in the little league, every time I got hit, I would lay down, and they would be worried about me. So my parents always told me, no matter how hard you get hit, make sure you get up. So that's how I was able, okay, I'm gonna take a hit, but my mama don't want to see me hurt, so I got to get up no matter how bad it hurts. And with Coach Beam, my former high school coach, he just taught me the guts. He just taught me heart. Size doesn't really matter, as long as all that matters is who wants it more. And that's what we thrived on in high school. Who wants it more? And that's kind of what I took with me through my life.
Also got you to be a quarterback in high school. You made a great pass in our win this year against UAB. Tell us about that play, how it's set up, the 2-point conversion to get us the win against UAB in homecoming.
Oh, man, my heart beating again just thinking about the play. But, yes, we kind of knew that we were going to go for 2 and take the chance to win in the ball game, and being able that I was the guy to have the reverse pass. It was kind of stressful, a lot of pressure, but I kind of took it as an honor, and Coach had faith in me, so I should have faith in myself that we can complete this play. And O-line blocked it well. Hassan ran the fake well and caught the ball, and hey, there it is, a first win.
You guys are excited about that play call too. Go for the win. Let's get the win here in homecoming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because it was like we said, it was the first homecoming win ever. And we was like, Coach, we got faith in you, and whatever the coach called, we always have faith in him and trust in his call. And so only thing is, once he makes that call, it's like, okay, now we have to have his back because he has faith in us in completing the play. So that's how that worked out.
Well, we know you're a baller, and you do your best out there on the field to help this team win, but we always like to, when we have athletes on here, get to know them a little bit and kind of let the fans hear a different side of them. And something that sticks out for me this year is we had that talent show late in August, and this talent show is, guys can just volunteer and get up there and just show some talents. We had a guy playing a banjo. We got guys singing, mixing up some tunes and things like that. But you got up there, man, singing, dance moves. You're a talented guy. Is that something that's just always kind of been a hobby for you, or something you mess around with when you're not in football?
Well, yes, sir. I'm a type of guy that's growing up, I was always the type of guy that the family wanted to see dance. I am a part of the church choir, sing on a praise team. I've always been in front of people, so. I just like to have fun. I like to make people laugh. I like to see people fellowshipping together. I like to see smiles. That's just the type of person that I am. So, yeah, that's kind of me.
You told us a little while ago that if you could have done it all over again, you might have majored in communications.
Yes, like I said, if I would have majored in communications, I think I would have excelled at it because my mom always told me that I talk too much. So I feel like that would have been a great major for me. But we'll see how it goes.
So what's the future? What do you plan on doing after football?
Well, of course, I told my parents, I was like, I made it this close to the next level. So of course, I want to work on taking the next shot. But after that, I want to try to take a step into the corporate America, and whatever the Lord opens the door for me, that's where I'm stepping towards.
Sounds great. Finally, last thing, being Thanksgiving this week and being somebody that's local, you're going to be going home, I'm guessing, and bring some guys maybe with you?
Yes, sir. I'm a very family-oriented guy, and this team is just as much as family as my home family. So I've encouraged the other guys that's out of town. If you want to come home with me, hey, we can go home, and we ain't gonna do nothing but sit there and eat and laugh. That's it. So. This team is, like I said, this team is family. I will be going down the road back to my family, and anybody who wants to join, we'll have a good time and eat.
What's your go-to on Thanksgiving? Like, you love that Mama fixes this. That's the thing that Thanksgiving's about.
Oh man, it's so many dishes.
How about a dessert? You got a go-to dessert?
I'll give you 3 dishes. I'm gonna go with my ham, of course.
Ham.
Deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs.
And then my mama makes the best banana pudding.
Oh, can't go wrong with that, right?
Can't go wrong with the banana pudding.
What time we eating? I'm there.
Just give me a call, Coach, and hey, the door will be open.
Chris, thanks so much, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Congratulations on a great career with the Niners. Enjoy Senior Day. We're looking forward to seeing you out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on the show.
We'll see you again soon.
Yes, sir.
Chris Montgomery has been our guest here today. Back with Coach Lambert in a moment. This is the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in.
No thanks, Santa.
I got this.
Hey, it looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0 for 72 plus $1,500 cash back on F-150. Plus active military, veterans, and retirees get $1,000 appreciation cash on top of all offers at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Welcome back to Gold Mine Live here at the Student Union. Rejoined now by head coach Brad Lambert with Kevin Donnelly. Want to thank Chris Montgomery for taking some time on this Monday morning. Always enjoy talking to Chris, who is going to enjoy Thanksgiving this week with his family. A lot of, hopefully, some teammates going down there, too, to Waco, which is outside of Shelby. And I always wondered, where's Waco? I know Waco, Texas is, but where's Waco, North Carolina?
Waco, man.
It's a little bit past Dallas, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's out there. I went to Burns High School. We recruited him, and he was a heck of a quarterback. He was fun to recruit, no question. He's just a real good personality on our football team. He's my pregame dancer. He always does it. He's always got the best dance out there in the pregame music. And he's like most wideouts. It's all about what I'm wearing. They all got to look good before they play good. So
he's flamboyant. He was great in the talent show. That's what we were asking about it, because some of those guys are shy.
Not
even
him.
though there's these big football players, and then all of a sudden you put the lights on them in a talent show, they get all quiet. And he was like first one up there. He's willing to show it off. And,
not him.
Just a fun guy to be around.
Yeah, he is. He's been a lot of fun to coach. That's for sure.
I was just thinking, who was our guest a couple of weeks ago that was talking about what a great cook he is, how much he likes to cook? Because we talked about
Gene Eason
about little pregame Thanksgiving turkey on the
Right. Yeah.
He's got. I'll tell you what. We need to. I guess I need to put a little route together of where I'm going to hit up my Thanksgiving meals, because I have access to a lot of kids with some great parents and know how to cook some good food. My wife's a great cook, so maybe I'll get my first meal there, and then I'll just run down the list.
Yeah, why is it always about food with you? Why is that?
I'm an ex-offensive lineman. That's what we do. We eat and we block people.
That's what I was just telling Todd. You always ask that, what's your go-to meal? I was like, well, Kevin's always got his. He wants to know what yours is. It's your go-to, man.
You can't go wrong with turkey, though. So
it's pretty much everybody's go-to, right?
Well, I love the turkey at Thanksgiving, but for me, it's all about, the sides and the desserts.
Yeah, the desserts are, big for me. The question is, how do you fix the turkey? You smoke it, fry it, bake? What do you do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, we go old school, and it's delicious.
Okay.
It's moist every time. Yes, my wife is awesome.
But this the final tailgate of the season too. There might be some fried turkeys going on in the parking lot.
I'd love that. That walk into the stadium. You guys are focused on work, but Matt and I can have you stopping.
A couple of years ago, we made a little run around the tailgate. Might have to do that this.
That's Coach Durning's go-to is the fried turkey. He fries the turkey in his driveway.
My opinion is you could fry these sunglasses and it would be delicious.
That's right.
Frying anything makes it better.
That's exactly right.
We still got a couple of breaks to go. We'll get one in. We'll talk some football. We promise to talk some football when we come back in a moment. This is Goldmine Live on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in.
No thanks, Santa.
I got this. Hey, it looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0 for 72 plus $1,500 cash back on F-150. Plus active military, veterans, and retirees get $1,000 appreciation cash on top of all offers at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Welcome back to Goldmine Live, everybody. Final show before the end of the regular season. We finish up the football season on Saturday at 2 o'clock at Jerry Richardson Stadium. We'll play the Owls of FAU, and it is senior day, and one of the seniors I wanted to focus on right now, Coach, is Arthur Hart and what he's meant to this team. Before the show today, I put my vote in for Conference Players of the Week, and he's got my vote for Special Teams Player. Another week, we had a 50-plus yard punt. Has done a great job for you in that role, all his entire career, but especially this senior season.
Yeah, this has been his best year because it's been his most consistent year, and that's what we challenged him with. And he's a very talented guy, and he has the ability to kick the ball over 50 yards. He's done it, 20 times this year, and I think leads the league, going away from that standpoint. But he's really done a nice job for us. Been really a good student for us, and just really, worked extremely hard at becoming a consistent punter. He's like when I think back, I was telling the team last week, you think back when Arthur was just coming to camp and we were trying to decide whether to take him, you brought him to camp and he came and worked out and saw that big leg, and it just happens so fast for guys, man. They're look up and it's their senior year, and Chris Montgomery and these guys, they think they're going to be here forever, and it goes fast. But Arthur's been had a really good year for us this year, and been really proud of him because he's overcome a lot, from a disability standpoint with his hearing disability, and it's been really a great story, from that standpoint.
Great athlete, was a quarterback in high school as well, and here's a guy, you mentioned consistency, and that was one of the things that you said the NFL was looking with Chris, with Arthur, to be more consistent, and he's got a chance to get some opportunities to the next level. Yeah,
I think he will. I hope he does. I mean, there's been a lot of guys come through and look at him, and those guys they're just like we are. Punters are hard to find, and when they find one, they hold on to them for a while. So that's a huge difference when you go down and watch the Carolina Panthers play, and you see the punters that come in there. I mean, their hang time is just ridiculous. I mean, they're 4 or 5 and above every time, and he's consistently hit that this year. Saturday was a little bit rough on him because we had that big wind, and so that can affect the guys some. And we started out kicking into that wind, so he was trying to kick him a little bit lower and drive him into the wind. So those things change for a punter, but he's been consistent, and he's got a big leg. So I'm hoping that he'll have the opportunity to kick at the next level.
Austin Duke comes around an awful lot, being with the Panthers right now. But how about some of the other guys? Have you had a chance? I know you guys get busy doing what you guys are doing right now during the season, but with Larry and the Browns, and Brandon Banks was over playing with the Washington Redskins. Have you talked to either of those guys?
I haven't had a chance to talk to them. Somebody sent me a picture. They had it on Cleveland scoreboard Saturday, talking about, had a big picture of Larry, and somebody sent it to me. So it's pretty cool. But I know they're struggling a little bit. But, just proud of those guys, and hopefully we can put another one out there.
Well, and I follow all those guys, and I know they're really close, Austin and Brandon Banks and Larry. And I think Austin Duke and Brandon Banks actually went to Chicago not Chicago, Cleveland, to watch Larry play and spend the weekend there and go to the game. So it's nice to see these guys. I mean, what you want is 8 or 9 of those guys getting a chance every year, and that's how you know the program's developing. But I know with you guys, what's crazy is this game comes up, and then you flip a switch, and it's all recruiting. You guys are on the road. There is no kind of decompression time. It's right back to work.
Yeah, no question. It's as my wife always says it best. She says, "I've been gone all fall. Now I'm getting ready to leave." So it's just the way our calendar falls. We get and the thing that's different for us this year is we have an early signing day in December for the first time. We're going to sign guys in December this year. So it's kind of another little twist in there of getting to see guys before you sign them on December 20th. So before they've always signed in February. So it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the calendar and how recruiting and who signs and who doesn't sign. And so, you just got to plan that out. And I try to see all the guys that we're recruiting, so it gets a little chaotic in the month of December and January.
Yeah, and I don't want to step forward too much, and we'll certainly dive deeper into it as we get closer to February. But man, you've got some good prospects that have committed to this program, and they're ready to come in and contribute. Without naming names, you got to feel really good about what's going on with recruiting and what the future looks like.
Yeah, no question. We just got to keep building. That's the main thing, and you do that through recruiting. And we got to get out there and recruit hard and keep working hard. To bring good players and good students and good players in here and make sure they represent our university in the right manner.
Take our last break. Come back and kind of recap our opponent coming up this week, FAU, what they bring to the table. A team that's going to play for the conference championship in a couple of weeks against North Texas. We're back in a moment. This is Goldmine Live on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
Let's get the big guy in place.
The Ford year-end sales event is here.
I can guide you in.
No thanks, Santa. I got this.
It looks a little tight. Perfect fit. Santa needs an F-150.
That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Hurry in for 0% financing for 72 months across a full lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0 for 72 plus $1,500 cash back on F-150. Plus active military, veterans, and retirees get $1,000 appreciation cash on top of all offers at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Hotel. Guitar. Reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party. Relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Welcome back to Goldmine Live, last segment of the show. And for those listening on the early replay of the show coming up at 1 o'clock on 7:30 the game, ESPN Charlotte. Don't forget, coming up tonight, we have a basketball game at Halton Arena. We'll tip that off at 7:05 against Presbyterian. The Blue Hose come to town. Our pregame with Joby Thomas and myself starts at 6:30. And then on Friday night, we have another basketball game. That'll be at 7 o'clock on Friday against High Point at Halton Arena. You can get your tickets by going to charlotte49ers.com. And the football game coming up on Saturday, 2 o'clock kickoff at home against FAU. And Coach, we talked about this at the top of the broadcast, but FAU comes in. They're hot right now. They're going to play for the conference championship in a couple of weeks. But you get them between, kind of clinching the division and then looking maybe ahead to the conference championship game. A team that's talented, but I know you guys will be ready to play them. Yeah, they're a very talented team, and I'm sure Coach Kiffin and their staff are going to get after them pretty good about not letting down, not having a letdown, and playing us and coming up here. And they got a lot to play for. The more wins, the better for them when they get in that bowl selection process. So I'm sure they'll be on point. They're a very talented group, so it's going to be a tough challenge for us. Running back Singletary, we talked about him. There's a guy over 1,500 yards already, 24 rushing touchdowns, 24-25. He's one of the best backs in the league. He is. He's a big physical guy. He can make you miss in the open field. He can run through tackles. And then we played against him last year, and then their backup back, Howell, he's a big guy. He's a big physical back as well. So he's a good player when they bring him in. So they've got a really good 1-2 punch, at the running back position. But he's definitely the thing that makes them go. We've talked a lot about their offense. How about on the defensive side of the ball? What do they like there? Well, I really like their linebacker. I think he might be leading the league in tackles. He's a fabulous player, was all conference, I think, preseason. He's back. They got some guys back. They lost their defensive end from last year, who's a really, really good player. But they're a big athletic group that
they're not as, maybe as high risk as the last two defenses we've played. They're just really sound, and they get in and out of things. They'll change their defense on you if you freeze them or look to the side. They'll change their front. They're really well coached team. Monty Kiffin, Lane's son, he's been doing it for a long time. He's kind of on their defensive staff, so he helps them out. They're just a really sound football team defensively that is very athletic and can get after you.
Last couple of minutes of the show. It is senior day for the 49ers. You want to come out early. We're going to honor the seniors before the game. Some thoughts from you, Coach, on your senior class.
Yeah, once again, it's just a group that helped us start. They came in 13, and they were that second class that we signed. And some of them were the second class, some were the third, depending on if we redshirted them or not. A guy like T.O. Ford didn't redshirt. Chris Montgomery didn't redshirt. So Eugene did. So they've been really impactful in starting our program here, and they've been really committed to us, and they're just the kind of people you want representing the university. So once again, senior day is always a tough day because you're losing guys that came in here and helped you start something, and it's really special. So we'll miss them all.
Yeah, and I think that bodes well for the future in terms of this is not nearly the size of group that you lost from last year. That a lot of this team is coming back, and especially on the defensive side.
Yeah, no question. Defense, when we roll out there Saturday, there's not any seniors that'll probably start. So based on injury, Covington being out, Carrington being out, things like that. So yeah, it's a situation where they didn't. It's not a big group, but it was a real impactful group for us, and so. We'll miss them all, and it does bode well that we got a lot of guys coming back for next year.
Sounds great, Coach. Thanks so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Enjoy Thursday.
You as well.
And we will see you on Saturday.
Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
That's going to wrap it up for us. Don't forget basketball tonight, 7 o'clock at Halton Arena. The Niners take on the Blue Hose of Presbyterian University. So for Kevin Donnelly and Coach Brad Lambert, I'm Matt Swarad. So long, everybody.